I discovered this culvert and explored it for the very first time back in 2022 and did so completely on foot. Not only did this expansive culvert system go for thousands of feet under part of a city, but a much older section went directly under people's basements. I became fascinated with this particular culvert, not only for its sheer size, but also the length and different styles of materials that were used. Ever since that day, I came up with an idea in my head to return to the same culvert and explore it in a way I've never done before. Although access to the opening is easy, you have to pass through over 100 feet of muck, mud, rocks, and sticks, which doesn't make it easy to traverse. So that got me thinking. An e-bike would be great for a location like this, but they're on the heavier side and could be difficult to maneuver past the rough section. So I decided on a different option. So with a freshly charged battery, some extra lights, and a sense of adventure, I'm about to embark on something I've never done before, and that is to travel through a culvert system under the city on an electric scooter. So come along with me. Our adventure begins here, just on the inside of the mouth of the tunnel. My scooter is right back there. And I came during very good conditions. We haven't had rain for weeks, which means the river level's low. There's no chance of rain today, so there should be no runoff, no high standing water, nothing that would impair our driving abilities through this massive culvert system. So we are really fortunate with that. With that being said, since there has been no rain and this is extremely dry, there is a likelihood that people could be in here, whether they're taking shelter or using it as living space, just like you would see like in the tunnels up underneath Las Vegas. Places like this are known for shelter just because it's cooler, it's dry, and unless it rains, you don't really have much to worry about. So we are going to head in that direction. We're going to go to as far as we could go, which I know is the older section underneath people's basements. We won't be able to go any further on the scooter, but we'll go a little bit on foot just to show you what that area is like, because that area to me is the best part of it. But I do want to bring you over here to the scooter, show you what we're working with today. So I came in just past where the standing water line ends, which is just maybe about 100 feet. And here is my scooter. We are using the awesome Leopard electric scooter. This is a 1,000 watt scooter. It does have a headlight, tail light, blinkers, marker lights, and I did kind of MacGyver another light onto it right here. This is my O light, which I have literally duct taped onto the handlebars just to get a more brighter visibility, more throw of the light as we head down the ever so dark tunnel system. Now this is just with my little headlamp I'm wearing. As I shut it off, you can see having good lighting is crucial in an environment like this. And in case you're curious about the dimensions of this tunnel, at least this part here, I would say it's about 12 by 12. It's a complete round circle, and this was laid here section by section. We are going to go ahead further up and see where it does go off to a squared off chamber with a lower ceiling, but there are different curves, different straightaways, different elements to this culvert system. And I think doing it on the scooter is going to be one of my best opportunities to explore this in a way like I never have before. I don't know of anyone else that's done this other than like on a pedal bike or a mountain bike. I was going to bring an e-bike, but this is a lot easier to transport and to carry down here to the opening of the tunnel down there. So we're going to get geared up. I'm going to have you guys mounted with my action camera right around my neck, so you're going to see what I see. And we're going to make our way through. We'll make a few stops along the way if there's anything cool to check out. And we're just going to kind of keep it kind of quiet, because there are some open sections, and also I don't want to draw any attention to myself, but I will say this is not really advised to do. This can be dangerous if you don't have experience, and definitely let someone know where you are if you are doing this. But this one is fairly lengthy, but I have explored it before, so I'm not unfamiliar with it. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's begin. Now, just to show you, if I didn't have this mounted through night, this is what it would look like. It's still sufficient, but more light the better. Just going to keep it kind of slow and casual, around 10 miles an hour. Now walking on foot, I feel like it took forever. Obviously, we're going to get to the end much quicker today. The echo, though, in these chambers and these tunnels is mind-blowing. It just kind of plays with your mind a little bit. You think someone else is talking or it's traveling for miles. And this is so big and round, you could kind of like drift a little bit or up and down. Not too much, but you could do it. Get some momentum going. You could really have some fun in here if you wanted to. Okay, so we got a slight bend here, and this is where things do change. We do come off to a lower square chamber here. Colorful graffiti here on the side. So dimensions here, I would say about 9 to 10 feet tall and about, I'd say 10, 12 feet wide. So we're gonna go straight through here, bends off to the left, and I believe we'll be coming to our opening. And that's looking back at the scooter. You can see it is plenty bright. So I came prepared. I even have extra flashlights with me too, in case one of them do die. I'd rather be over prepared than not prepared enough. I'll tell you what, if somebody is down here though, they are gonna hear me coming because the echo, any little noise just travels through the tunnels here. So not only do we have a slight left bend, it's going uphill obviously because gravity sends the water down, and we're back to a round tunnel system. And as you can see, there is daylight up here, and my echo is going away because there is an opening up here. So we're going to kill our lights in just a moment, but we're going to go straight to a slight right bend. I'm going to kill this light right now, kill that light right now, and we're going to go quietly through the open section because anyone on top will be able to see us, especially if they hear us. So I'm just going to go through as nonchalantly as possible. Bend down to not be visible. So that's looking where we just came from. There's train tracks up above where we just exited the portal. We're now in a squared off chamber. Down there, there is no smell, no fumes at all. This is storm drainage. But in here, it stinks pretty bad. There is airflow though, so I'm not too concerned about that. I'm not gonna just be spending a lot of time down here, but this section does stink. But let's continue on. Get our lights back on. And this ceiling is lower. Standing straight up, my head only has a few inches of clearance. So, like typical culverts, it's smaller towards the opening, larger towards the exit or discharge point. Come to think of it, a bike probably would be more suitable because it is lower when you're sitting, but I could just crouch down. And this scooter actually has a seat option. I didn't bring it with me. If I knew it was going to be like this, or remembered how low it would be, probably would have brought it. Now you may see these pipes on the sides. Those are just storm drains that drain into here. This is put together with concrete and these metal strapping and bolts holding it together. Going around another slight curve, just darkness ahead of us here. Really long straightaway, and there's something up there on the ground. Don't know what that is. But just to show you what it's like in here, since we're around the corners and away from the openings, how dark it truly is in here. So I'm going to kill the lights right now. That's my through night. That's the scooter light. Complete darkness. You won't be able to make your way through here unless you're walking along the side, holding your hand against the wall to guide you through. But let's get up there and see what that is in the middle of the track. I do see some water on the ground too. What is that? So, I don't know where this water would be from because we haven't had rain in a long time. I'm thinking somewhere on the street something was drained. What is this though? This is a balloon. It's like a disco ball balloon. Huh. I wouldn't ever think of finding something like that down here, especially since balloons float. But it's found its way down here in the culvert system. I'm gonna go definitely slow and cautious. I don't wanna slide out with this water, but I do have knobby tires, so I think we'll be okay. Let's continue on forward. There's a ladder here going up to the surface for a manhole. I believe there's another opening up ahead too, like a break, a small break. Last time I walked through, people were dumping or washing their car, and there was like soapy water coming down. Okay, yeah, the whole floor is wet up here. And it's kind of rust stained. Just going nice, slow and easy. I do feel a breeze, some warmer air, so I think we're closing in on that opening that I just mentioned. Now if you want to see like a high-speed ride through here, just continue watching. On the way back, once we do clear this water, I'm going to open it up and go close to 30 miles an hour through here. So we're definitely going to do that. Okay, we're dry, back to dry ground. Still climbing in elevation, and that opening is farther away than I thought. Okay, there's our opening. Let me kill the lights. So that is surface level up there. There's 2 breaks with the bridge going over. There's grates up there, so people could definitely see down and hear. So it's gonna make a lot of noise with the leaves. I'm just gonna go right through. Okay, we're through. What is that? What is that? Oh, okay, I remember. We're closing in on the old section, and heavy water flow has pushed these rocks down from there. I remember seeing those last time. Okay, up here is as far as we could go on the scooter. So we have reached my favorite part of this culvert system, where the old meets the new. Can't go any further on the scooter, but we're gonna go a little bit on foot just to show you what it's like, because this section literally goes underneath people's homes and businesses, where you can actually see some of the construction elements for their basements. So we're gonna leave the scooter here lit up to throw some light, and that traffic is loud. We're gonna press forward a little bit here. So this is completely made out of stone. You can see they even used some narrow gauge railroad tracks as structural support. That's the same kind of tracks you would see in coal mines for coal cars and ore carts. This one's rotted out. That looks like a standard gauge. It's all rocky. This is where the rocks are coming from during heavy rains. And here, there's newspapers down here for insulation. This is beneath someone's home, their basement. Somebody mentioned about trying to see a date down here. March 4th, that's my birthday, March 4th, 1996. That was placed there. I don't know when it was placed there, but that's when the paper's from. But there's some plywood, some stone slabs, and paper. It's insulation. This is beneath someone's home or business. As we continue a little bit forward, the tunnel does curve off to the left up here. There's a debris pile here, which I remember. You can see the erosion here from the water eating this away. Eventually this will have to be addressed. And here it's a completely, almost a completely round section, like an old tunnel. There's some brick reinforcement right here on the left. Debris pile, blockage, and it just goes about another 100, 150 feet, and then you do exit. So if you do want to see what it's like there, to see my full on-foot exploration, that will definitely be a link down below in the description, so you can see the comparison and see in more detail as I walked this entire length. But this is mind-blowing though. This is such an old section, probably dating back to the late 1800s, early 1900s. And I think it's going to need to be addressed at some point. With this brick sections, it was addressed a while back, but it's going to need to be updated at some point. Especially since this is underneath homes and businesses. And that's looking back where the scooter is there. Killed my light. So, I'm glad I brought that. Turned out to be very useful. There's another newspaper here. I don't know if I can see a date on this. This one's a sports section, talking about the Orioles. So right here is where it meets old and new. They just mortared it together. As to why they left this piece untouched like this, I have no idea. I don't know why that rope's hanging there too. I'm going to take you back though to that brake section where we hear that traffic, to show you what it looks like down there. And then we're going to backtrack, and once I do clear that water, we're going to go for a high-speed run. So that's where we just came from. You can see we got some daylight here. These are the two openings up to surface level. You can see it is a grate up there. So cars are passing right over that section right there. There's a storm drain right there. just see my scooter out of sight there. So I wanted to stop and show you a few things. So we passed this on the way here. Obviously this ladder goes up to a manhole cover. This pipe here looks like a little catch box. Probably water falls down into that and then would flow out this way. So it just like contains it temporarily. And then when it's high enough, it comes out through here. And I do have a much larger one right here. This one's almost large enough to go into. And oh, that's where the smell's coming from. Okay. So I'm gonna try to zoom in to show you a brick lined tunnel back there. I could hear noise back there too, like rushing water. But that's where the sewer smell is coming from, this exact pipe. And obviously there's some kind of manhole cover too, vehicles are running over. But yeah, it's completely made out of brick right past this, about a 10 to 12, probably a 12 to 15 foot concrete section. That is definitely where the smell is coming from. But this is, as far as I know, primarily a stormwater culvert, not for sewer. That might be an overflow though. But now we're gonna go down past the wet section. As soon as we get to dry ground once again, I'm gonna open the scooter up and approach speeds of 28 miles an hour beneath the ground, underneath the city and town, in a massive culvert system. It's gonna be a pretty fun ride. I can't wait, so let's get down there. All right, we're coming upon our disco ball balloon. That's where the water is going to end, and we're going to open it up. Okay, if you're ready, here we go. 15, 20, 22. Okay, gotta get through this section here. 25. Ooh, got a bank turn there. back out to daylight and some fresh air. That was every bit of what I thought it would be, plus more. A couple things I do want to share with you. Number one is I wouldn't advise doing this yourself. If you do, you're obviously doing so at your own risk. There were a couple hazards I was concerned about. Obviously, picking a good weather day is the utmost importance. You don't want to come through here with rainfall, because not only does the ground get slick when it's wet, but also if it's high enough and fast enough moving water, it can sweep you away. Secondly, there's always the potential for people to be in here, whether they're living in here or doing something they probably shouldn't be doing. Thankfully, today wasn't the case. I never want to sneak up on someone, or I guess you could say invade on someone's territory if they are calling at home. So that was a concern of mine, but today it was kind of all to ourselves. Third is debris inside. There were some rocks not too far on the inside of here, and obviously we saw farther up larger rocks that if you weren't paying attention, or they were right in the middle of the floor, you could hit them if you're going too fast, or if you didn't have good lighting, hit them as well. This is not my first time through here, not my first time in culverts. Obviously I do have quite a bit of experience. I'm by no means an expert, but I do have enough experience I feel comfortable doing videos and explorations like this. And this is, as far as I know, the first of its kind to explore an underground culvert system. You could call it a tunnel system if you want, on an electric scooter. If it has been done, I haven't seen it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does become a thing, because it's way too cool, literally and figuratively. I know some people have done other culverts on mountain bikes, which is very feasible. The bikes are lightweight and you just have to pedal your way through. I like being able to just cruise, and as you saw on the way back, we did hit 25 miles an hour on the straightaway. I honestly didn't feel comfortable going any faster, because either we were going to come to a sharp turn, or I was afraid of hitting a stone or something like that and causing a crash, neither of which would be good. But 25 miles an hour through an underground culvert system underneath the city and town is pretty fascinating, I guess you could say. Pretty freaking awesome, more appropriate to say. But this is not going to be my only time doing it. I do have some other culverts in mind. There's a friend of mine that did reach out to me about another culvert system, very similar to this, but longer in length. I have not explored it yet, but it is on my list for 2025. Whether I do it on foot or on a scooter or e-bike may depend on your feedback. So feel free to comment down below. On foot, obviously, you take your time, go through. It makes for a lengthier trip though. And you do have all the distance to walk back. On the scooter, I didn't break much of an effort today. I had more fun than anything else. And although we've already seen it before, I saw it in a whole new light, just based on cruising on a scooter, lighting up the whole tunnel system, and bringing you guys along as well. Anyways, if you have any questions on the gear I was using today, everything is linked down below in the description with Amazon affiliate links. You can check it out. If you think it may be something for you, consider giving a purchase. I do get a small kickback from that. And the scooter as well will be linked down there. It handled it phenomenally. I will say, if you have a scooter, or if I had a scooter with solid rubber, like the hard rubber solid road tires, it wouldn't fare well in here. I would slide out as soon as they got wet, or around some of those turns. This has thick, aggressive, knobby tires, and it was the perfect set of tires, perfect scooter for an environment like that. So needless to say, I came well prepared, nothing went wrong, and I'm going home with a smile on my face. Anyways, thank you so very much for coming along for this unique, one-of-a-kind adventure as we drove under the streets and city through a massive culvert system on an electric scooter. Take care, stay safe wherever you are, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.